Good day, Senior High School Grade 11 Physical Education students. I am Teacher Imana, Senior High School Teacher of Camarines Norte National High School. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This channel contains educational video in Grade 11 Physical Education subject. Please like, share and subscribe for you to notify when I have a new educational video posted on my channel. Every week, I will post a video. Thank you for subscribing. Lesson objectives. First, list down important procedures and guidelines for personal safety during moderate to vigorous physical activities participation. Second, design a brochure that enumerates the procedures and guidelines for personal safety during moderate and vigorous activities participation. Third, explain the importance of wellness and cautiousness while participating in moderate to vigorous physical activities. Before we proceed to our lesson, I will show you a short video clip. You have 2 minutes to analyze the video clip. What's the representation of the mobile phone? Yes. It is all about making our own property safe. How about on the illustration showing an image wearing a mask? Yes. It's about the protocols that we follow, especially this time of COVID-19 pandemic. On the illustration showing an image of a human body, and on the man lying down on the floor? A human body showed as, how important the water in our daily living. And on the man lying on the floor tell us the importance of overtraining, that may cause a harmful outcome in our body. So can you give an overview of the video clip? Very good, it's all about observing a personal safety protocol to avoid dehydration, overexertion, hypo and hyperthermia during MVPA participation. As we engage in moderate to vigorous physical activity, you need to observe some personal safety precautions to avoid certain conditions related to physical activity participation. These conditions include dehydration, overexertion, hypothermia, and hyperthermia. Each of these conditions should be taken seriously, for each poses health risk to you as an exerciser. These conditions are usually associated with exercising in different types of environments, like a hot or cold environment. However, dehydration and overexertion may be experienced even when exercising in environments that do not have extreme temperatures. We will discuss each condition with safety precautions to guide you in engaging in moderate to vigorous physical activity. What is dehydration? Dehydration is refers to the excessive loss of water from the body, usually through perspiration or sweating, urination, or evaporation. During participation in physical activities, the body regulates its temperature depending on the intensity of the activity. More frequently during moderate to vigorous physical activities, the body perspires or sweats and you get thirsty. What is sweating? Sweating is a bodily function that helps regulate your body temperature, and also called perspiration. Sweating is the release of a salt-based fluid from your sweat glands. On a normal day, the body loses about 2.5 liters of water from the lungs and skin, from urine and feces, and from perspiration. The body must replace this through proper hydration. To offset fluid losses, it is suggested that 150 to 250 milliliters of fluid should be taken every 15 minutes. What is the meaning of thirst? Thirst is the feeling of needing or wanting to drink something, and it is a sensation of dryness in the mouth and throat associated with the desire for liquid. Maintaining water balance is an important consideration during exercise. Physical activity results in increased heat production, and evaporation of sweat from the skin allows the body to dissipate the heat, and maintain a normal body temperature. The amount of fluid lost as sweat varies according to factors such as the intensity and duration of activity, and the air temperature or humidity. Most of the time, an individual waits for thirst to kick in before replenishing lost water. However, it is advisable to replenish lost fluids even before feeling thirsty. This is especially important when an individual exercises in the heat, or does so for an extended period of time. Another condition that you need to be aware of is overexertion or overtraining. This condition is actually independent of weather conditions, but you need to be aware of the signs and symptoms. What is meant by overexertion or overtraining? Overexertion or overtraining is typically caused by repetitive movement, sudden motion, or prolonged effort. It may be also related to incorrect technique or working at extreme temperature. If you're ever exerted, you may develop fatigue, pain, or become more prone to injuries. This also refers to the detrimental cause of excessive training. Some individuals engage in too much physical activity. Some exercisers and athletes often push themselves too hard in their pursuit of high-level performance. Thus, they are susceptible to a variety of hyperkinetic condition, known as overload syndrome. This is characterized by fatigue, irritability, and sleep problems, as well as increased risk for injury. In an overtrained SHS, performance is known to decline sharply, and this can cause individuals to train even harder. This dip in performance may be mistaken for due in physical effort, so the exerciser or athlete increases the effort to pull up the performance. A useful physical indicator of overtraining is a slightly elevated morning heart rate, 4 or 5 beats more than normal values. Essentially, an elevated morning heart rate reveals that the body has had to work too hard to recover from the exerciser, and is not in its normal resting mode. When doing resistance training, an individual is likely overtraining and may not reap the full benefits of the program if the body is not allowed to recover completely in 2 or 3 days after maximal effort. Decrease in total number of sets or exercises, both, is recommended. You also need to pace your workout properly to avoid staleness. Staleness or getting bored or uninterested is usually a consequence of overtraining. Direction. Get your activity log or notebook. Analyze the 2 sports-related advertisement products about on fluids replenishments. Take note of the following. A. Claims presented in the advertisements like replenishment information, effects of drinking the products, and etc. B. Explain your answer. Have an activity. Activity 3: Identifying symptom of overtraining. Direction. Get your activity log or notebook. With your activity log, copy the following statement, and answer the following question by placing a check marks on the blank. First, has your performance decreased dramatically in the last week or 2? Second, do you notice signs of unusual anxiety or anger? Third, do you feel depressed? Fourth, do you feel unusual fatigue? Fifth, are you less energetic than usual? Sixth, do you have trouble sleeping? Seventh, do your arm and or legs feel heavy? Eighth, do you experience loss of appetite? Ninth, do you lack interest in training? Because the weather here in the Philippines is normally hot most of the year, exercisers should be conscious about it when engaging in physical activity, whether indoors or outdoors. Since indoor conditions can easily be adjusted with cooling mechanisms such as air conditioner and electric fans, outdoor conditions pose more challenges to you as an exerciser. One of the things you need to be aware of is hyperthermia. What is the meaning hyperthermia? Hyperthermia means abnormally high body temperature. This may be caused by a part of treatment, by an infection, or by exposure to heat. This is also an alarming rise in a body temperature, which is an effect of exercising in a very humid environment. It sets the stage for heat stress and even heat stroke, the potentially fatal collapse of the temperature-regulating mechanism. In hot environments, the body is able to maintain temporary thermal balance during exercise through circulatory adjustments and evaporation of sweats. However, the body responds differently in a hot, dry environment. The body actually gains heat when the air temperature exceeds the temperature of the skin. Under these conditions, the evaporation of sweat allows the maintenance of thermal equilibrium. When the humidity is also high and evaporation cannot take place, the body temperature continues to rise, and performance is severely impaired. Is it safe to exercise in a hot weather? Write down your answer in your notebook. Prolonged, vigorous exercise can be dangerous in hot and humid weather. Heat from exercise is released in the form of sweats, which cools the skin and the blood circulating near the body surface as it evaporates. The hotter the weather, the more water the body loses through sweat. The more humid the weather, the less efficient the sweating mechanisms is at lowering body temperature. If you lose too much water or if your body temperature rises too high, you may suffer from heat disorders such as exhaustion or heat stroke. Use caution when exercising if the temperature is above 80°F, or if the humidity is above 60%. Exercise safely, watch for the signals of heat disorder, regardless of the weather. Let's have the activity. This activity is a case analysis, and it is what we called, Donaire and Cebu. Direction: analyze the case of Nonito Donaire Jr.'s April 23, 2016 title defense fight against Sopidak in Cebu. Around that time, the Philippines was experiencing one of the hottest temperatures. Explain what the two boxers needed to do to be able to give out their best in such hot temperatures. Do it in your activity log. I gave you 3 minutes to answer. What is heat acclimatization? It is the improvement of heat tolerance that comes from gradually increasing the intensity or duration of work performed in a hot setting. On the first day of vigorous exercise in hot weather, one may experience near maximal heart rate, elevated skin and core temperatures, and severe fatigue. But after a few days of similar exposure, the same task can be accomplished with a reduced heart rate, made possible by improved blood distribution and increased blood volume. Skin and core temperatures are lower, since sweating begins at a lower temperature. Highly fit individuals become acclimatized in 4 days while sedentary ones take about 8 days. The best way to get acclimatized is to work in actual conditions, temperature and humidity, one has to endure. Here are the following tips when exercising in the heat/hot weather. A. Slow down exercise and add rest breaks to maintain prescribed target heart rate. As you become acclimatized, you can gradually increase intensity and duration. B. Drink 2 cups of fluids 2 hours before you begin exercising, and drink 4 to 8 ounces of fluid every 10 to 15 minutes during exercise, more frequently during high-intensity activities. C. Wear clothing that breathes, allowing air to circulate and cool the body. Wearing white or light colors will help by reflecting rather than absorbing heat. A hat can keep direct sun off your face. Do not wear rubber, plastic, or non-porous clothing. D. Rest frequently in the shade. E. Slow down or stop if you begin to feel uncomfortable. Watch for the signs of heat disorder. If they occur, act appropriately. Cold temperatures do not pose a threat similar to that posed by hot, humid condition because of the metabolic heat generated through exercise. In the Philippines, there are only a number of places where cold temperatures can be experienced. Even so, exercisers should be aware that severe exposure to low temperature and high winds can lead to frostbite, hypothermia, and even death. Why is the meaning of hypothermia? Excessively low body temperature, that NBSP, characterized by uncontrollable shivering, loss-of coordination, and mental confusion is considered as hyperthermia. Hyperthermia also a medical emergency that occur when the body loses heat faster than it can produce heat, causing a dangerously low body temperature. Prolonged exertion leads to progressive muscular fatigue. As exposure continues and additional body heat is lost, the cold reaches the brain. One loses judgment and ability to reason. Speech becomes slow and slurred and control of the hands is lost. Hypothermia results when a person's internal body temperature drops below normal due to cold exposure, and typically starts with mild symptoms but can progress in potency or all become life-threatening. A person experiencing a late stage of severe hypothermia may go into a coma or suffer cardiac arrest. Signs and symptoms. Early signs: shivering, pale, cold skin, cold environment. As a condition worsens, no shivering, even though the person is cold. Increasing drowsiness, irrational behavior and confusion. Slow, shallow breathing. Slow, weak pulse. Walking becomes clumsy and tendency of wanting to lie down and rest escalates. Treatment. 1. If the victim is unconscious, open airways and check for breathing. 2. If the victim is conscious, bring to the shelter or keep in warm room. 3. Replace wet clothes with dry one. 4. Give high-energy food and warm drinks. Cover the head, hands, and feet because heat is lost through the extremities. Do not let the victim lie down and rest since the core temperature is dropping. Without treatment, one might lose consciousness and die. Transport the victim to a medical facility as quickly as possible. Constricting blood vessels. Vasoconstriction increases the stimulating capacity of the skin, but it also results in a marked reduction in the temperature of the extremities. Protective vasoconstriction often leads to discomfort in the fingers and toes. Blood is rerouted to deeper, more vital body organs. To relieve pain, it is necessary to warm the affected area or raise the core temperature. While shivering may cause some increase in temperature, gross muscular activity is far more effective in restoring heat to the troubled area. Shivering is the defense mechanism of the body against cold. Core temperature is the temperature of the deep organs. The temperature of the body is normally 37 degrees Celsius or 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. It adjusts for enzymes activity within the muscles. Changes in core temperature can be reflected in the skin. Before we end our lesson, let us have an activity. With your activity log, answer the following question. 1. What is the importance of understanding the procedures and guidelines for personal safety during moderate to vigorous activities? Two. It refers to excessive loss of water from the body, usually through perspiration or sweating, urination, or evaporation. 3. Refers to the detrimental cause of excessive training. 4. It is an alarming rise in body temperature, which is an effect of exercising in a very humid environment. 5. It is an excessively low body temperature, characterized by uncontrollable shivering, loss of coordination and mental confusion. 6. It is a sensation of dryness in the mouth and throat associated with desire for liquids. Congrats students! That's the end of our today's lesson. I hope you learn more in our today's topic in physical education. If you like this video lesson, please visit my YouTube channel Teacher Man TV Official, hit the like button and subscribe button so that you always notified if I post educational video like this. Thank you everyone, have a good day.